Hello everybody, welcome back. It is me, your old pal Orpheus, with another adventure here on Orpheus Plays. Although, again, this is one of those audio adventures. Put on your headphones, just sit back and relax. Don't worry about the visuals. There's nothing interesting going on there. So today I wanted to talk about something that's it's becoming sort of a problem. I think for a lot of you as well, but for me, it's become this major problem, and it is getting deplatformed by all the places that I post anything. So we'll talk about that. I hope you're doing well today, though. Whether it's day or night, doesn't matter to me as long as you're coming here and hanging out with your old pal. So let's get to today's topic. This one's kind of strange to begin with. So I've done another episode a while ago about how at one point I kind of got cut off from my original Facebook account. And it was like I had a bunch of friends. Well, you know what? No, I didn't have a bunch of friends. I had like 45 friends, but they were all from high school, stuff like that. And so I just kind of, there was a weird set of circumstances. I got cut off from Facebook at the same time. I was really, really sick. Turned out I had chronic appendicitis. So it was like a 20-year-long thing where it just kept getting worse and worse. And then it would get better and then worse and worse. And so I kept updating all of my friends. And the thing is, back then and this was like 10 years ago, something like that. Back then, when you posted stuff on Facebook or back Twitter at that point, people would see it. All of your friends would see it. The people that are following you would see it on Twitter. The people that were, in touch with you anyway could be able to get those updates on a regular basis. So now the years go on, and I notice that sometimes my posts are not being picked up by anybody. I'll put a life update up that's like, oh, I just bought a new whatever it is, and I'm going to be going on a new adventure for whatever. And it's just, crickets. And I get a little bit like messed up with that because it's like, because I have another Facebook account, obviously, now. And I've got, there's some of the people that I used to work with and people from my life that I managed to find from my last Facebook account, stuff like that. So I started noticing that fewer and fewer people, at least on Facebook, were noticing what I was putting out, and it was kind of a slow burn. I'm not really the person that posts all the time, so when I pop up in someone's feed, I don't think that they all, they just, when you scroll through whatever social media, you're just kind of flipping through. So, I mean, it has gotten a lot worse though. Okay. So back maybe even just a year ago, 2 years ago, you'd post something on there, you'd flag it for all your friends, not flag it, but you have your the audience that you set it to on Facebook, and you put up the post and you think, okay, well, everyone's going to see this now, and hopefully they'll start interacting with it, like it, thumbs up it, give a comment, whatever it is, hey, good to see, or oh, I'm glad to hear that, stuff like that. Because the thing is, I'd keep scrolling through my own Facebook and I'm seeing all my friends' updates. They're going here, they're visiting a theme park, they're getting a new job, their kids are doing this or whatever, and I see all the interaction on those, and it's like 150 comments and 230 likes on it, and it's just I'm like, what is happening? I don't even understand what's going on because no one was reacting to my stuff. Okay, and so I'm not the kind of person that interacts a lot on Facebook, on social media, and on social media in general. It's kind of a rule for me that I don't interact very often because I don't want to, I don't want to position myself in a way politically or socially or with my opinions that might piss off some of the people that are in my friends list. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have people that you're friends, quote unquote, friends with on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and you refrain from making posts that will piss them off. And it's, you can have a curated list of friends on Facebook that see your post. And so sometimes, I'll exclude a few people here and there. If you're on my Facebook friends list and you happen to be listening to this for some reason, it's not your fault. I'll explain all of this in a little bit. If you're not seeing some of the posts that I put up, it could be because I'm blocking you from that just to make sure. Look, I have some strong political opinions and some strong social opinions, okay? So I try to keep those off of things like this channel. I also try to keep them away from social media because, look, my friends don't need to know who I voted for or whatever else unless I explicitly know who's going to be getting that, that sort of information. And so I, occasionally just, unclick a few people. Like, no, I don't want you to see this. No, not you. Oh, this might piss you off, stuff like that. So I have, a group of people that I send this stuff to. The problem is, though, I've started to notice that, like, literally no one is interacting with any of my posts on there. And, I think, maybe I'm just not posting enough. Again, that idea that maybe I'm not interacting enough. And so they're, just kind of seeing my stuff and going, meh, whatever. I'm not going to click like just because he said he had a delicious sandwich. And don't worry, I don't post stupid shit like that. I tend to put more eventful things. And sometimes they're just really deep thoughts. If I had some sort of thought about the universe or something, not usually anything that's holistic or anything like that, but if I have this thought about the universe or the world or whatever it is, and I share it with people, I end up noticing that no one is responding at all. And it's gotten really bad lately because it's supposed to pick up, there's an algorithm behind social media, of course, right? But lately, you might have noticed on things, and, I'm talking about Facebook a lot here. You probably use some sort of other social media, maybe more than that. Facebook's more of a boomer thing, and I'll explain in a minute what's going on with that. I know you've noticed it in all your other social media feeds because it is becoming one of the largest problems, in my opinion, in social media. And it is that the algorithms are getting too smart. Okay, they're getting to the point where they can analyze everything that you do, every single interaction, every single time that you type something on the screen, even if you don't hit search, folks. Those things can see the things that you tap on the keyboard, and even if you don't hit return, it's still going to see that you might have been interested in that, but you decided, meh, right? And then it'll start magically showing you stuff like that. How does that happen? Well, you gave it permission. So the thing is, though, you might have noticed that your feeds are getting filled with absolute slop. And a lot of it is what they call AI slop. Of course, these videos from Sora are pretty bad. Sometimes the people hide the watermark on them in the upper corner so you don't know that it's a AI video. And the problem is that a lot of people on Facebook and social media in general, and the problem with Facebook is it's an older crowd, right? So a lot of them are not very savvy, and a lot of them are not picking up news and information from other sources besides something like the mainstream media or a very curated, biased group of people called an echo chamber. You know what that is. And they'll just bounce ideas off of each other instead of, opening up to other things. And so when they see these AI slop videos, and it's something like, you might have seen the Sergeant Pepper video. It's a protester screaming in the face of a cop, and he's going, "What's your name?" Oh, no, it's a soldier, not a cop. He's like, "What's your name, soldier? What's your name? Give me your name." And the guy hits him in the face with pepper spray, like a big old blast of bear spray. And he's like, "Sergeant Pepper." Okay, that's fake. But a lot of people don't know that because the older people and people that aren't as tech savvy don't even notice what that Sora thing is. It's maybe like Power Director. You see it down in the lower corner of people like creators on a video like you're watching, and they didn't bother to pay for anything, so they had that Power Director like watermark in the lower corner. So it's kind of like that. They just don't notice it. And so they're like, "Oh, did you see that thing where that soldier blasted that guy completely in the face from just like 2 inches away?" And you get this thing and it's like, "Oh, no. Stop being so stupid," right? But the problem is they keep packing more and more of that garbage in. And they're stuffing in more and more commercials, more and more sponsored things. Influencers that are being given money to review, quote unquote, review a product that they bought, and they just think that it's just the greatest thing in the world. That is all slopping up. It's messing up, or as we call it, the enshittification of your feed. And it's the enshittification of your entire social media experience. Because when it analyzes all of your data, all of your interaction, all of your input, everything that you look at, it also determines what kind of a user you are on that platform. Okay? So what that means is the number of times that you hit like on something, or you share a post, you reshare it on your own feed, you make comments on something, you go ahead and you interact back and forth, you use the messenger features and everything. If you are fully using their platform, they give you priority over other people that are not. And it took me a lot of research to figure this out because, I had to ask several AI chatbots, and like some of them gave me stupid answers and some of them gave me true answers. There's some AI bots that I trust almost completely when it comes to this kind of data, and they have pointed to it. And then I started looking for articles on it and little papers and posts on forums and stuff like that, and technical support help forums and stuff like that. And I found out that if you are not interacting enough with your friends' posts and with the posts that are being presented to you, folks, if there are posts that are being given to you because they think that that's what you're interested in, but you're not sharing it and interacting with it enough, they will start to deprioritize you as a friend. And I know that sounds really messed up, right? The less that you interact with posts from your friends and other things on a social media platform, it starts to ramp down how important you are to those people. And so it will start throttling your content, your posts. Okay, so if you're not sitting there during the day and one of your friends posts a cat meme and you're like, oh my God, it's the 550th cat meme that Carol has posted this month, and you're just like, you scroll past it, the system saw that. And the system saw that you looked at that for however long. It knows how long that stuff was on the screen while you were quote unquote looking at it, because that's how it gets that metric. And you scroll past it, the system goes, okay, checks a little box that says deprioritize just this little bit. And so since I'm not a person who interacts with a ton of stuff on Facebook or on whatever social media I'm on, it gets to the point where nobody on my friends list is seeing anything that I'm posting. Because the system, the algorithm, determines that I'm not important enough to show to anybody. And so I've been making posts over the months here, and it's been, important stuff. What's going on with me? What's going on with our plans? Life updates, major milestones, things like that. And I get 0 comments, or maybe one, 1 thumbs up or 2 thumbs up, or maybe a comment, hey, good to hear that, but nothing else. And I've asked a few people on my friends list, I go, did you see that post I made the other day? And they're like, no. What post? I said it was really important. I put everyone to share it to, and you didn't see it? No, I don't. I barely ever see anything from you. Do you even post stuff? It's like, oh my God, seriously? Is that where we're going with this, Facebook? Okay. Now again, Facebook is more of an older thing, but their algorithm is still built on the same basis as the other ones on other social media platforms. It's a very similar algorithm. Now, I found out again, I post on X, okay? Unless you want to be mildly emotional about what I'm doing, don't go look. Look, I have political opinions. I just keep them off this channel. So that, that way you can just come here and relax without hearing about anything that's going on in the world. You can just chill out. But, I found out on X the same thing is happening. And again, I was drilling Grok on this. Oh my God, it took me like a half an hour of just beating him up to get him to admit, okay, yes, your posts specifically are being throttled to the community. Again, because there's an error in the algorithm going on right now, but it is not. That's not the problem. That is just making it worse right now, and it ran down all these statistics. Like, you made this many posts in the last 20 days, and there were this many people that looked at it, and this many people that commented, this many people that thumbs. It was like a table, like a a complete PDF on what's going on. And I'm like, oh, cool, okay. And it was like, yeah, your engagements in the last year have gone down by like 90% or something. And it's, it's because the algorithm has again deprioritized things that I'm saying. And this can happen for a lot of reasons on something like X, and some of them are just like, they leave me scratching my head and like wondering everything about myself, like I question everything, because one of the reasons that you can be deprioritized or throttled on something like X specifically is because the algorithm looks at you and it determines that you're essentially too dumb to be reaching the rest of the world. It sounds stupid because, you look on there and like, I see dumb people all the time on there. Well, it prioritizes things that will get reactions, okay? That's how the system works. The more interactions it has, the more people see stuff, the more people can pay for the memberships in order to interact more and in more meaningful ways. And yes, if you pay for the blue check mark, which I do, the verified thing, I'm fully verified with a country and region with my ID and all that stuff, and then I pay X in order to use the service in a more priority manner. Well, turns out I'm not really getting that. I'm getting access to other features, but my stuff is not really being shown to people, and I have a few hundred people that follow me, not impressive, but I still have people that should be seeing my posts. The average is like, it should be at least 25-50% of the people that follow you should at least be seeing your post at some point. I mean, ideally it should be 100%, right? You'd think. And so if that's the case, I should be getting views on my posts and interactions on them because I give good opinions. Well, the system, one of the reasons it might do that is because it might determine that you're too stupid with your long comment to be shown to the rest of the world. And so that makes me, like, when I found that out, I'm like, hold on. So I talk to Grok like it's a person, so you'll just have to deal with that. So I'm like, hold on. So you're telling me that one of the reasons that I might be getting throttled is because I write these long, thoughtful things and I might actually be stupid? I'm like, oh my God, fuck my life if that's the truth. And Grok was like, no, that's not what's going on with your account. Like, looking at your posts, you're thoughtful and deep, and you're very, educated on the topics that you talk about and everything. It's like you even lean into some controversy in order to try to get more, interactions. And I'm like, okay, so that's not the problem. And it goes, well, it's just because right now the interactions that you're getting seem to be a little strange, but not really off for the kind of content that I post. And I'm like, I don't sit there and just post stupid memes. I try, you know what? No, I make it a rule. I never actually use swear words in any of my posts. I use things like FVCK or SH exclamation point T, So I don't get it. I don't understand. But the biggest bummer is when it does it here on YouTube. Now, I have over 700 subscribers, 744 at the time that I recorded this. And, that means that at least by algorithm, the algorithm that YouTube promises they have, which it doesn't really work this way, they say that they will show my video to at least those people. Recommend it to at least those people at some point during their day, right? And that's an impression. That's what's known as an impression. So it means that many people have looked at it, and there's something called a click-through rate, which is one of the metrics that YouTube gives to you to figure out what's going on. And the click-through rate means that if when you pull down on your screen and it refreshes the recommended stuff, right? Or you refresh it on your TV app or whatever you're doing, you get new suggestions. Every time that you're doing that, you're slightly snubbing the people that you didn't watch the videos for. I don't know if you knew that. Right? But if YouTube suggests a video to you to watch and you just pull down and get new recommendations, all the ones on that screen, I think at least the first ones that it shows you, the first like 12 or whatever, it just snubs them. It puts a little hit on them that says, okay, we offered this to people and they didn't click on it. So that reduces your click-through rate. Well, if you're a person that has, 2 million followers and your videos get 7 million views apiece, it doesn't matter if a couple thousand people just keep hitting the keep scrolling it down to refresh it, because it's, their click-through rate is still going to be like 70% or something. Well, for mine, when I get views on my videos, right, it shows me the metric of how many people it has actually shown it to. And you do that with a little bit of math by looking at the number of views, and you take the percentage click-through rate and you extrapolate that, and you get the number of people that YouTube is showing or recommending your videos to, right? This is ridiculous. Because the number of people on my average videos these days that get suggested to people, the average crowd is like 200 to like 400 people. Which means it's not even showing my videos to those of you who are subscribers on a regular basis. It's not even suggesting my videos. One of the other bigger problems is I've talked to a few people who follow me and that I know in real life, and they don't even see me in their subscriber, the new, the subscribers thing where you go and you look and it's all the new content since you've been on, and looked at all that stuff. My stuff isn't even showing up for most of them. So YouTube themselves, their customer service says that they don't know what to say. Everything's working fine on their end. Same thing with X. Grok is the ultimate customer service agent when it comes to that, and assures me that there is no problem with the algorithm, except right now it's a little weird for suggesting comment or content to people, but that's not really the main contributing factor. As to Facebook, I've basically gone and told, I put a post up that was like, look, first of all, if any of you can see this, that's a miracle. Second of all, I'm not going to be really using Facebook anymore. It's this platform that now is just like, it's so tired, right? It's always kind of bummed me out because it's one of those platforms where if you are not someone who's like in step with all the rest of your friends, because in theory, most of your friends are going to be somewhere around your age. At least it was that way for my high school friends. All the ones that I had in my old Facebook account were all around the same age. But I had like a period of time in my life where I just kind of didn't give a shit about anything. I just floated around, and it was like a decade where I didn't have a stable girlfriend, I didn't have a stable job, I didn't even have a stable place to live most of the time. I went homeless for a while during that period. I had a lot of stuff that was just not conducive to having a normal life and progressing through normal life events. And so I'd go onto Facebook during these times and just and it was also MySpace at one point, people were on. But I'd keep going on Facebook and seeing all these people that I knew growing up that were like, oh, I just bought my first house. Oh, we just had our first baby. I bought my first car. Oh, geez, everything's going great. Oh, and, my mortgage just went down. And, oh, my gosh, we've had a granddaughter. Things like this. I keep seeing it progress. But in my life, I'm not having any of that happen. And so it's always kind of bummed me out to see people like living normal lives on Facebook for some reason, or on social media in general. Like when I see you get these people that follow you on X that are like, they're older accounts, but they're like clearly some sort of scam going on, or they're just really like vapid, empty people, because all it is like them posting stupid like Disney-esque sort of phrases like life is beautiful when you open your mind to the universe. And it's just a picture of like a cup of coffee with some sort of stupid cappuccino art on the top of it. And you're expected to like just take that and go, right? That kind of stuff pisses me off most of the time, because it's like, look, dude, your life is effing perfect. And I know it's social media. You put up your best face in order to get the whole crowd envying you sometimes. But it kind of makes me upset. And this is my overall mental condition. I have like problems with empathy and compassion and normal emotion. It's hard for me to feel good about things or bad about things. It's more extreme. And so I see all this stuff and I'm just like, meh. Like it annoys me. Now, if you're a friend on my Facebook feed, right, this is not directed at you. Most of this was directed at the people that were, when I was in high school, my old account. The things that I see from you guys, and I get shown basically all of it. Turnabout would be nice, but I see basically all of it. It's cool. Don't be mad if I don't interact with your stuff. I'm just a person who just has difficulty maintaining that sort of thing. So, what's my point today? If you want to still be seen and interact with your friends on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're using, make sure you interact with them a lot. Because if you don't and you don't maintain it, the systems might decide that you are not important enough for your friends to keep in touch with. And that's really, it's really messed up. And it really left me feeling sort of empty inside, because it gives you that feeling that like you're not only unimportant in terms of like the system, you also end up feeling like you're not important to your friends. And the problem is, with social media being the way it is, most people use that as their primary way to communicate. I don't have the phone numbers of all the people on my Facebook list. I certainly don't have the phone numbers of anyone in my X list, right? Although X does allow phone calls and video calls now. I'm not, these are people that just follow me on X. I'm not going to give them a call or anything like that, So the sad part is that I can no longer communicate with my friend group because the algorithms have decided that my life and existence are so boring that I just don't exist to my friends. So reach out, say hello to your friends on social media occasionally, give them a thumbs up, make a comment, oh, another cat meme, yay, okay? Do that, you'll be just fine. But for me, it seems like I'm being smudged out of the digital universe from my friends. Whatever. Anyway. Hope you found that important. Not important. I hope you found that entertaining, maybe a little bit educational. And it's kind of this state of the world right now on the internet. Algorithms are taking over, AI has taken over, and it's a good thing that we're elevating our level of technology and interaction with technology. But I think we need to train it to start being a little bit more sympathetic to the human interactions that are very important and that are the basis for all of why we're using these social media platforms. Of course, they are called social media. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one here on Orpheus Plays. Be good, do good, and treat yourself well, because you absolutely deserve it. We'll see you next time. Bye.